Ini, thank you very much Datuk for your financial support juga menganjurkan conference. To me, this is a very important conference attended by our colleagues from not only from Sabah but from Semenanjung and Sarawak. Yeah. And last night saya juga bersama dengan yang berbagai Profesor Emeritus Tan Sri Datuk Zulkifli Abdul Razak, ya, dari satu flight sampai pukul 12:30 malam. Juga yang berbahagia Tuan Pendaftar Tuan Lokman Reda Anwar, pendaftar UMS, dan ada beberapa keynote speakers yang hadir pada hari ini. Saya bagi pihak Universiti Malaysia Sabah, we are very thankful and grateful for your time and your participation, yeah, in this conference. Well, my topic is a broad topic: empowering diversity in leadership, navigating complexities, embracing differences. So some of these subtopics will be discussed in the forum later on. My presentation will be very brief because I would like also to hear Yang Berhormat Senator Tan Sri Anifah, Datuk Seri Panglima Anifah Haji Aman, that he will share his experience as a very well-known figure, not only in Sabah tetapi in the nation. Our former foreign ministers and other very important portfolios at the national level. Well, in Malay, empowering diversity in leadership ataupun memperkasa kepelbagaian dalam kepemimpinan. So, what I'm trying to present to you this morning is very much on the perspective of the university, yeah, on the university, because that's our core business. Tadi Dr. Jakaria ada mention about diversity, even the landscape of kita yang ada ini dengan muka bumi yang begitu cantik, ya, especially Sabah, yang we are very blessed with beautiful islands, mountains, flora and faunas. Yeah, these are all diversity that make it so beautiful. So it is a strength by itself. Manusia juga macam itu, coming from all backgrounds, yeah, different background, very diverse. Yeah, so this is our strength. Okay, next. Okay. As you can see from the slides, now, diversity in leadership. Well, leadership diversity within the university community is multidimensional. It's aimed at fostering an inclusive environment where individuals from various backgrounds feel valued, yeah, empowered and engaged. Yeah, this is what we say. It brings a greater depth of experience and perspective. Fostering innovation. So that is why kita punya our tag name of Universiti Malaysia Sabah is leading towards innovative societies. So if you want to lead innovation, then there must be a diversity. It cannot be executed by homogeneous type or approaches. So it needs some diversification approaches. So the name inclusions. Why is diversity in leadership important? So there are three major reasons. Your leadership sets the tone. So leadership diversity within the university community is multidimensional, as I mentioned, aims at fostering an inclusive environment where individuals from various backgrounds feel valued. That is why in the university, AKEPT said at least 10% of the faculty members has to be expatriates. At least 10%. Because when we are talking globalization, so we need some expertise from other countries as well, not only Malaysians. Now, we are very much encouraged by the Kementerian Pendidikan Tinggi to have collaboration at the world level, engage with other universities. This is what is, we call it diversity. From my experience in the past 20-some years, also we are evaluating, I happen to be one of the external evaluator for the promotion exercises. I can see the CV tells everything, where you can see some of these candidates, collaboration with who. Even when they publish or do research, do it solo or only very much focus on their disciplines. So the CV can tell you. We can see that these candidates are very much multidimensional in research or collaborate with other international researcher. So this is also another elements that required in the higher education. We need to have collaboration with international researchers and publishers. So how to make your employees feel like they belong for improved productivity? Of course, our productivity is our KPI. So think about your employees, whether you are Malay, Chinese, or Indians, Bumputras, Malay, or a male or female. We expect our employee to feel truly equal, included and understood. So the employee experience is crucial, where it's no longer in time, where there's a clear separation between personal life and work life. So you want all of your employees feel safe, appreciated, valued, and included in the workplace, thus bring their full selves to work. So that is why we want to make our employees feel like they belong to the organizations that can boost the productivity of the university. So our bottom line is at stake when the payoffs can be an immense, while there's no arguing about the moral imperative for ensuring diversity in leadership. When faced with a diverse team, like me as a VC of the university, we need to create opportunities for people to have shared experiences. This is an effective way to break down barriers. Creating a team, even in which group members are working together on some cause or issues, sometimes even against a competitor, can reduce conflicts considerably. Familiarity often breeds fondness. Now, diversity and inclusion. Diversity is most important when things are not going well. Yeah? Challenging situations exactly when you want to leverage a group with a wide range of perspectives so that you do not overlook any of your options. We have lots of blind spots, you know. So with diversity and inclusion, our perspective become broader. Now, and how is it that some organizations are noted for employees who are engaged, innovative, and high performing? From my experience, a key differentiating factor is an organization's ability to leverage diversity and inclusion. Yeah, like in Universiti Malaysia Sabah. I am referring to more than age, ethnic, and gender diversity. Yeah, we are not talking not only race, background, religion. Yeah, but diversity is beyond that. Okay, maybe on the perspective of age, gender diversity, but also diversity in perspective. Your perspective, your opinions, skills, these are also have to be factorized when we talk about diversity. Competencies, also one of them. Philosophies, yeah, your belief, upbringing, education, and life experiences as well. These are some of the diversity that we have to look into. Yeah. Now, diversity alone does not mean a university is inclusive. So the university, like Universiti Malaysia Sabah, is the best example of an organization that contains diverse entities with different roles and responsibilities. The university is led by VC, Naib Chancellor, faculties and institutes, also at the faculty level, similar to a prime minister in a country. Okay, kalau umpamanya university led by the university VC, at the national level led by the prime minister, and then the faculties led by the deans and the directors, with members of the Senate acting as a cabinet ministers. Kita ada Senate juga di university, so they are acting as a cabinet ministers. Faculties and institutes resembling ministers with their own portfolios. Yeah, and its staff and students akin to government officials and citizens. This is why it is important for each individual to shoulder their responsibilities to ensure the university's continuity to progress. Similarly, this comparison can be applied to the responsibility of a country. Now, building and fostering a diverse faculty. Malaysia announced the nation's fastest growing racial groups. Kita mempunyai pelbagai budaya, adat resam dan suku kaum. So diversity alone does not mean a university is inclusive. Yeah? You need to do more than have a diverse group of people to make it an equitable and inclusive environment. And diversity needs to be coupled with inclusion and equity. Yeah? Faculty members and students need access to the same resources. And also, the student need access to the same facilities that they have in the university to maximize their potentials. Yeah? Then, when we say diversity, what do we really mean? It is a 3R issues. Ada yang now we are talking about 3R issues. Tak boleh cerita pasal 3R issues. Religion, race, and apa lagi satu tu? Race. Or it is the promise of reality creating an environment, a system, and a school where we have diverse people representing diverse perspectives. So as mentioned, university need to be more proactive in building their faculties and increasing graduate students because faculty derive from graduate students. So in the case of Sabah, diversity, what we mean is we want students from rural areas, not only students from urban areas, you know, coming from affluent families, but students has to be coming from rural areas to do their PhDs, so that we can see the diversity that only inclusive with the rural people in the context of Sabah. Jangan hanya tertumpu pada orang sekolah-sekolah elit ini. Kalau di Sabah ini, there are lots of schools di luar kawasan, di luar bandar. So our policy is to be inclusive. Kita bagi pada peluang kepada pelajar daripada luar bandar untuk continue their postgraduates at the masters and PhD level. Jadi nampak our product is diverse. Bukan hanya ada product is coming from the elite school di Kota Kinabalu, di bandar-bandar besar seperti Tawau, Sanakan. But our product has to be inclusive from islands. We have hundreds of islands around. YB Seri, kita banyak. Sekolah-sekolah pun sekolah-sekolah daif. Itulah why our inclusivity is include all this. Regardless of the, sebenarnya kita ada special, not so much on merit, tetapi because we know that the situations are so, you know, the playing field is definitely not level, so the special channel for the students. So we give them a space to do their higher education di university, especially Universiti Malaysia Sabah. So itu pun bukan hanya terhad kepada, not only limited to, you know, what we call 3R tadi, tetapi juga it's an inclusive elements that we have to include people, student from all the rural areas, bagi peluang untuk mereka lanjut pengajian di universiti. Yeah, decisions that are made from a diverse population are better decisions. This is normally what we heard about. An institution that has a rich and diverse faculty is a university that has an opportunity to explore a wide range of ideas and areas of study. Yeah? If everyone is the same, kalau semua sama, you don't get the benefit. A heterogeneous faculty, student body and staff is what universities need to strive for. Yeah. Yeah? Tetapi not to sacrifice the quality. The people that we are involved in the university must add values, bukan yang can create liabilities. Yeah, that is the bottom line of the diversity, that can add values. So in today's globalized world, yeah, in hari ini, hari yang begitu mencabar, where boundaries between nations fade and cultures converge. Yeah. Culture kita ni converge. Leading diversity has become a vital factor in driving progress, especially in academic. We are setting out on a journey to explore the core of leading diversity, to understand its meanings, significance, and its impacts on our organization and societies. So leadership is not the same everywhere. Itu maksudnya. Because and leaders are made, they are not born. Jadi itu sebab dalam hal kita bercerita tentang diversity ini, we want to create more leaders. Especially di Sabah ini, we are endowed with very rich natural resources. Ya, yang kaya dengan sumber asli ini. We need people who are innovative, regardless where you from. Itu sebab dalam universiti, if we know somebody who are very capable in doing things that can add values to the university, I don't care. Saya belajar daripada guru saya Tan Sri Razak. I don't care. We will engage them to become our faculty members. Yeah. Now, so leading diversity means guiding people from diverse backgrounds and perspectives towards a common goal. Kita punya goal is how we can achieve the goal. Macam we are playing a football match sekarang. EPL sekarang in English, Premier League. Dia dulu in 1970s kalau dia orang white semua players dia. Now they are very diverse. All the best players in the world playing in the best team. They're very diverse. Yeah. In achieving the common goal. And harnessing the strength of differences to build a stronger, more innovative and harmonious collective. This is what we. And diversity isn't just numbers. Bukan hanya setakat numbers. It's a symphony of experiences. Combination of experiences, identities, talents. When well orchestrated, kalau dicantum ya, sekali dengan baik, can produce remarkable results. Can produce remarkable results. And we are talking about high impact. Kalau di universiti ni, we always talk about high impact journals lah, publish dalam Q1, Q2 lah. This is the goal that we want. Now, indeed, dalam Al-Quran pun ada disebut, it is natural for human to be created with diversity and differences in their nature. In kita ada nature kita, as mentioned by Allah SWT. O mankind, indeed we have created you from male and female and made you peoples and tribes that you may know one another. We have to know each other well. Indeed, the most noble of you is the sight of Allah, is the most righteous of you. Indeed, Allah is knowing, all-knowing. Jadi maknanya, ya, kejadian kita pun pelbagai. Tengok, kita punya ada yang rendah, ada yang tinggi. Tan Sri, YBhg Senator Tan Sri, ada yang besar, ada yang gemuk, ada yang kurus. That is nature. Allah SWT dah jadikan macam itu, so we have to take it as a strength. This is a strength. Also in the Al-Quran mentioned, defining, leading diversity involves opposing discriminations. Macam disebut sini, wahai orang-orang yang beriman, hendaklah kamu semua sentiasa menjadi orang-orang yang menegakkan keadilan kerana Allah. Lagi menerangkan kebenaran. Dan jangan sekali-sekali kebencian kaum terhadap sesuatu kaum itu mendorong kamu kepada tidak melakukan keadilan. Ya, hendaklah kamu berlaku adil kepada siapa jua. And then kerana sikap adil itu lebih hampir kepada taqwa. This is mentioned in the Al-Quran. So defining leading diversity involves opposing discrimination. We oppose the discrimination and bias. And whether overt or subtle, it entails using our leadership roles to perform attitudes, policies, and practices that sustain inequality. It means advocating for equity, ensuring equal access to opportunities and resources for all, regardless of their backgrounds. This is much important. Yeah. Now, very quick. So new ways of recruitment. Sekarang ni kalau kita nak recruit orang, nak recruit orang dalam konteks Universiti Malaysia Sabah, in navigating complexities and embarrassing differences, one of the approaches in recruitment is looking forward to acquiring talent, where people add value and access to a growing competitiveness. Itu dia punya asas sekarang ni. It is time to change challenge the status quo and embracing diversity as the key to navigate complexities and embracing differences. So today's global environment are becoming too complex. Yeah. Now, as I mentioned just now, the worlds are very volatile, full of uncertainties, ambiguity, complexity. Life is filled with uncertainty and worries about the future, ya, tentang masa depan. Banyak ketidaktentuan dia. Volatility happens all the time, macam stock market, up and down. While many things remain outside your control, di luar kita punya control, your mindset is key to coping with difficulties, circumstances and confidently facing the unknown. Banyak perkara yang kita tak tahu. While leaders often focus on extending compassion to others, it is equally important for them to cultivate self-compassion. Yeah? Self-compassion enables to embrace their strength, limitations and personal growth without judgment. Kadang-kadang kita ni selalu buat pre-judgment, ya, without taking into many study from all aspects. So by modeling self-compassion, leaders encourage their team members to participate self-acceptance and vulnerability, fostering a culture of authenticity within the organizations. Leaders who prioritize self-compassion understand that taking care of themselves is not selfish, but in fact a necessity. Yeah, in fact, it's a necessity. By setting healthy boundaries, kita ada boundaries. Okay, managing stress, how to manage stress, and participating self-care, leaders enhance their emotional well-being, enabling them to be more present and attractive to the team's need. Jadi itu yang perlu dalam big organization like UMS. Universiti Malaysia Sabah, we've been now coming to 29 years of our establishment with 18,200 students. Yeah, lots of complexities, uncertainties juga berlaku. Ya. So walk the talk. So definition of leading diversity extend beyond mere words. Yeah? It's a call to action. So it means putting your words into action. Yeah? Showing that you mean what you say by actively doing it yourself, not just by saying it. It is a version of the everyday practice what you preach. Yeah? Kita kena men of example, by examples. So dalam konteks Malaysia, Sabah wants to be known not just for its stunning landscape, beautiful landscape, but also for its harmonious multi-religious societies. Sabah, Tan Seri tahu, has been the role model in Malaysia, a very diverse states, the keadaan harmoni yang sangat bagus, tidak pernah kita berlaku pergeseran antara kaum, because Sabah's population is heterogeneous, very much heterogeneous and culturally diverse. I myself, ada juga dusun saya, ada juga Brunei, ada juga Bajau, ada juga little bit of Chinese, ya, ada, semua ada. Ini Datuk Suzana tahu ni, Datuk Suzana Liu ini saya punya keluarga juga ni, Tan Seri. One of Sabah's unique and selling points was its diverse population, consisting of over 40 ethnic groups di Sabah ini. Satu perkara yang sangat special for Sabah. That is why Sabah become the very attractive spot tourism. Hari-hari daripada Korea sekarang. There's 7 flight direct from Incheon, China, South Korea. Itu belum lagi daripada China. So now become a place of tourist destination. because of the stability that we have here. So in Malaysia, in Malaysia's particular context, dalam konteks Malaysia, innovation and creativity can flourish, yeah, when diverse teams unite and collaborate. That is why UMS with other 19 public universities, we have lost good engagement with the universities throughout Malaysia. Yeah. Even di sini pun kita sangat beruntung disebabkan AKEPT, pihak AKEPT, khususnya Mr. Azrul ada di sini, Deputy Director, memilih Sabah to be the venue of this conference. Thank you very much, Tuan. Daripada AKEPT, we are very much appreciative memilih this Sabah. So hopefully more conferences lagi boleh organize di sini. So Malaysia's multicultural areas offers a diverse areas of cultures, traditions, and experiences, especially in Sabah. When leaders embraces diversity within their organization, we can harness a wealthy of perspectives, perspective, opinion, and ideas. For example, diverse marketing teams can craft campaigns that resonate with various ethnic groups, resulting in more competitive products and services. Ya, kalau belajar student dalam jurusan marketing, we need social harmony. Malaysia is home to a diverse population, consisting of Malays, Chinese, Indians, indigenous groups. Jadi ini dalam konteks Malaysia Madani hari ini satu model yang sangat baik. Jadi economic growth need diversity. Economic stability can be described as the ability to access resources that is essential to one's life and well-being. So appreciate diversity in leadership is directly related to economic growth in Malaysia. Ini juga menyumbang kepada pertumbuhan ekonomi di Malaysia ini. The economic prosperity of this nation is closely tied to its ability to harness the skills and talents of all citizens. Kita skill ini perlu kita bugarkan, segar bugarkan, ya, regardless of their ethnic or linguistic background, ya. So by providing equal opportunities, kita menyediakan peluang yang sama, and promoting diversity in the workplace, khususnya di university, leaders contribute to a more skilled and efficient workforce. Yeah. This, I think, in turn enhances productivity, innovation. Jadi ini yang dalam universiti kita nak bugarkan inovasi ini, and overall economic development. Dalam konteks Sabah Maju Jaya ni kan, universities must play a very important role. Dalam konteks ini, in line with the first pillar of Madani, which is sustainability, kemapanan, ya. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm truly honored to be as one of the first keynote speaker at the Empowering Diversity in Leadership and Navigating Complexity and Embracing Differences seminar. In connection with this, I would like to take a moment to highlight some of the remarkable advantages that may be gained from your participation in this event, because of this seminar presents a transformative opportunity for participants across various dimensions, especially that we are going to hear from the panelists talking about subtopic under this big topic of diversity. And of course, it offers a deep dive into the multifaceted world of diversity in leadership. Yeah, highlighting its potential to drive innovation, creativity, and resilience within today's dynamic organization. Macam university, we're very dynamic, yeah. So for the participants, inshallah will gain practical strategies for effective leadership in diverse environment, learning how to navigate challenges, how we can navigate challenges, and promote diversity as a source of strength. Ini sebagai kekuatan kita di universiti. Beyond professional development, beyond our professional development, and this seminar, I believe, contribute to personal growth by fostering cultural sensitivity, empathy, and a deeper understanding of diverse perspectives, enriching participants on a personal level. And of course, secondly, the event, this seminar emphasizes the power of networking and collaboration. So, saya juga berjumpa dengan rakan-rakan daripada UKM tadi, daripada ITM juga, ada university. Thank you very much for your coming to Sabah, Land Below the Wind. This is a forum where we can share ideas, share their passion for leadership in diversity. This connection can lead to valuable collaboration, partnerships, and friendship. Setiap kawan, enhancing participants' professional networks and offering opportunities for future growth and collaboration of our university, awam, khususnya di Malaysia ini. So, of course, dalam perspektif Islam, participation in this significant programs is considered one of the efforts to fulfill the requirement of public shura, what we call it, sharing opinions, which is approximately one of the essential pillars in making major decisions involving public interest, like university, awam ini. Dia ada public, kita punya major stakeholders is the government and the public, state, national, and even global levels. And finally, I hope this seminar underscores the potential for attendees to be catalysts for positive change in the organization, in our universities. Armed with newfound knowledge and skills, participants are posed to champion diversity and inclusion in their workplace and communities, dalam masyarakat juga. They can create inclusive environment where everybody's unique strength, kita ada kekuatan yang unik, are recognized and celebrated together, ultimately leaving a lasting positive impact, by promoting diversity in inclusion. So itu saja my presentation pada pagi ini. Thank you very much for my shortcoming in delivering this very big topic, but this thing I hope we can meet again in the other forum in the future. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terima kasih Datuk Naib Chancellor atas ucapan sebentar tadi. Mohon Datuk Naib Chancellor untuk kekal berada di atas pentas bagi sesi penyampaian cenderamata. Untuk itu dijemput Datuk Madiem Layapan untuk ke pentas bagi menyampaikan cenderamata.
Thank you, Datuk Vice Chancellor. We invite Datuk Madiem Layapan to the stage to present a memento to Datuk Naib Chancellor, please.
Terima kasih kepada Datuk Madiem Layapan atas penyampaian cenderamata sebentar tadi. Peringatan mesra kepada para peserta untuk mengisi borang penilaian selepas setiap sesi dengan mengimbas kod QR yang terdapat di belakang tag masing-masing. Slide juga akan diemailkan kepada para peserta selepas selesai persidangan ini. Terima kasih.
A gentle reminder to all participants to fill up the evaluation form after each session by scanning the QR code behind your tag. The organizers will also email to all participants all slides presented after the conference is over. Thank you for your cooperation.
Seterusnya kita ke ucap tamat kedua dengan tajuk Leading Diversity Sabah Maju Jaya yang akan disampaikan oleh Yang Berhormat Senator Tan Sri Datuk Seri Panglima Anifah bin Aman. Untuk itu dijemput Yang Berhormat untuk ke pentas.
We've come now to the second keynote address with the title Leading Diversity Sabah Maju Jaya. We invite Yang Berhormat Senator Tan Sri Datuk Seri Panglima Anifah bin Aman to the stage, please.
Kamu dah rasa sejuk kah? Ya, saya menggigil. So I hope you will bear with me. This is quite a lengthy speech. I don't know, because they said if you cut part and parcels of it, it will be distorted and it does not give a true reflection of our foreign affairs. Now, Yang Berusaha Professor Datuk Dr. Kasim Haji Mansor, Naib Chancellor Universiti Malaysia Sabah. Yang Berusaha Tuan Luqman Brida Anwar, Pendaftar Universiti Malaysia Sabah. Yang Berbahagia Datuk Madiem, Layapan, CEO Invest Sabah, Berhad. And tuan-tuan dan puan-puan yang saya hormati sekalian. I must confess to you last night, in fact, I had a lot of durians to eat. And my throat is very itchy. I'm not sure whether I'm going to last giving this lengthy speech. Firstly, I would like to thank UMS for inviting me to deliver this keynote address to this conference on empowering diversity, navigating complexities, and embracing differences. It is my pleasure to be with you this morning and to share my experiences as a foreign minister and how I led a diverse team of people towards achieving the goals of the national abroad. This experience, I believe, will be useful in the context of the Chief Minister's vision of Sabah Maju Jaya, who himself is leading diversity. I was appointed as a foreign minister in 2009 and served until the change of government in 2018. And I'm sure many of you here are also serving as federal officers and comprise of the Administrative and Diplomatic Service or PTD service, and perhaps some of the students aspire to join service and may even dream of becoming ambassadors one day. And so perhaps you may have to have heard Sir Henry Wotton, the 17th century English diplomat, who quipped that diplomats are gentlemen who go abroad to lie for their country. You know, there are many witticisms about diplomacy, and when combined, given the impression that foreign policy and diplomacy are black arts which thrive on lies and subterfuge and innuendos. People believe that in addition to that, diplomats, also those that dine with royalties and nobilities, and that's the picture that everybody has. However, this may be just a myth perpetuated over the centuries by people who couldn't know more. So I'm happy to put the record straight and share the reality of diplomacy in action while I relay my experiences as Malaysian Foreign Minister. We have a saying in Wisma Putra, I'm sure you have the same, which is passed down to every new officer joining a ministry, that you hit the ground running. Little did I know that apparently it also applied to new ministers as well. And when I first joined Wisma Putra in 2009, the experience was baptism of fire, so to speak. And I was sworn in on the 10th of April 2009, and immediately after that, literally immediately after that swearing in ceremony, I flew to Thailand to attend an ASEAN meeting. And that's the time when there's yellow T-shirts and red T-shirts. And when we landed in the airport in Bangkok, all this about 2.5 hours journey to the site where the meeting was supposed to be held, and it was full of red shirts and yellow shirts. It's quite frightening because you never know what they're doing. And when we reached in the evening, and in the hotel where we are staying, all the ASEAN leaders, and there are thousands of these people, both yellow and red. And I would be lying if I'm saying I was not frightened or terrified. And so we stayed overnight. The next morning, we were supposed to have a meeting, and Prime Minister Abhisit came after 2.5 hours delay and said, unfortunately, we have to cancel that because they cannot guarantee our safety. That was my first day as foreign minister. It's nice, isn't it? Now, so, ladies and gentlemen, let me walk through what the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is all about. Now, primarily, we conduct and make foreign policy, and chiefly, our foreign policy, right from the beginning, is to conduct relations with all friendly nations. One little known fact, though, about the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is that it predates the independence of the Federations of Malaya. And here's a little history for all of you, that Wisma Putra, in fact, in 1956, Tunku Abdul Rahman set up a Department of External Affairs in preparation for the Malaya, when Malaya wants to rule itself. Now, however, because Malaya was neither independent nor sovereign, it could not forge diplomatic relations with other countries. And this only happened the following year, 1957. There were 20 countries that initiated diplomatic relations following independence, and these are the countries that sent envoys and established diplomatic connections with the young Malaya in 1957. Actually, among them are the already established countries such as United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, France, and United States of America. Now, other nations that initiated diplomatic relations with young Malaya back then were Cambodia, Thailand, Indonesia, Japan, India, Pakistan, as well as Egypt and Saudi Arabia from the Middle East. Back in 1957, there were only 6 embassies and high commissions worldwide. There was the Durian effect. There were roughly the same amount of officers back home at the headquarters when there were only 3 officers holding portfolios in the whole of the world. And nowadays, the ministry has grown, and Malaysia's presence can be felt worldwide. And we also host 100 nations here, thus proving how far Malaysia has come to be recognized across the world. Ladies and gentlemen, one may wonder what all the history has got to do with leading diversity. I have to say everything, and I'm a politician after all, and the very least, once elected, I have to represent all sorts of people with different religion, races, and political views, as Professor Kasim was saying. Now, however, when given the portfolio of foreign minister, little did I know that the ministry itself is a very diverse organization, and there are different departments and divisions, and all are staffed by experienced and exceptional officers. As a minister, one must always be abreast with the inner workings of the civil service, especially the one that staffs the ministry. Now, Aristotle once said that human beings are political animals, and just because civil servants are not politicians, it does not mean they do not play politics. Is that true? That's true. Thank you very much for it. This, combined with the various departments and divisions of ministry and the complexity of job, ultimately give me a run of my money in the test, and the best way I lead diversity. Now, let me just briefly, you may all have heard this, but the structure of Wisma Putra. Now, during my time as minister, there were a number of departments and divisions. The Department of Bilateral, and there are the Department of Bilateral Relations, and look after Malaysia relations with other countries. The department handles the many important ongoing and also incoming visits by heads of state and government, among others. And the Multilateral Affairs Department, on the other hand, handles Malaysia relations with groups of countries or within organizations such as United Nations and Organization of Islamic Cooperations. And this department also handles specific issues such as human rights, counter-terrorism, arms control, climate change, so on and so forth. I think it's almost similar to UMS too. You have Senate, you have... And another important department is the ASEAN department. As the name suggests, the department deals with all issues related to the associations of Southeast Asian nations. And one may think, after all, ASEAN is just a small grouping of 10 countries in comparison with the United Nations, for example. But let me assure you that the undertaking in terms of work in Wisma Putra is monumental. And during my time as Foreign Minister, the work ahead with regards to ASEAN has been tough, but also memorable. And when ASEAN began in 1967, then Malaysian Deputy Prime Minister Tun Abdul Razak, who signed the Bangkok Declaration on behalf of Malaysia, envisioned an ASEAN that would consist of all the countries in Southeast Asia. And in 1999, Cambodia joined ASEAN, making it the 10th state in the region to do so, and Tun Razak's vision turned out to reality. In the 56 years of ASEAN, there have been challenges and milestones. The ASEAN Charter, adopted in 2007, came into force a year later, and the Charter is one of the ASEAN milestones, provides legal status and institutional framework of ASEAN. In 2015, Malaysia was the chair of ASEAN. It was a historic milestone for both Malaysia and ASEAN, with the launching of the formal establishment of ASEAN Community on 31st December 2015. The ASEAN Community, with a motto of one vision, one identity, one community, is divided into 3 pillars, namely political security community pillar, the economic community pillar, and the social cultural pillar. And this will further strengthen and implement strategies to maintain peace, security, and prosperity between its members, and also embed to the world that ASEAN is a very important and influential regional organization. The decision-making process within ASEAN remains the same, has not changed. The decision by consensus of the 10 ASEAN member states that is all that is needed, but it's not as easy to get 10 different leaders, 10 different countries, although being ASEAN, but to get a consensus of all these people is quite a task that foreign ministers have to do. And but we stand strong as ASEAN, and today ASEAN as a single entity is the 9th largest economy in the world, and the possibilities, especially in terms of economics, is endless. Ladies and gentlemen, when leading diversity, one must also understand that such is life. We are always dealing with diverse groups of people every day, whether it be in our work or whether it's just a stroll in the supermarket. And it is inevitable that we deal with many people, unless, of course, you live alone in the island. Pulau Gaya is not alone anyway. The fact that the matter is, we all deal with diversity. In the Foreign Ministry, this engagement with diversity is part and parcel of our job. The diversity comes from the offices within, in the interdependence, in interconnectivity. It engages with external parties, such as the interdependence, the interconnectivity that was engaged by a myriad of issues, both regionally and also internationally. Back in 1957, a young Malaya has to deal with issues such as United States and Soviet Union rivalry, the nuclear arms race, the role of the United Nations in global affairs, the growth of a regional organization for the Southeast Asian region, and the cooperation in trade and investment in general. Nowadays, Malaysia has to deal with the rise of China and what means in terms of security and relations with the United States, the spread of extreme ideologies and its violent disciples, climate change and global warming, food security, fallout from discrimination, marginalization and ignorance, and many aspects of ASEAN cooperation, and the list is endless. And ladies and gentlemen, security matters to diplomatic relations, from human rights to development, from food security to climate change, everything has its international angle to it. And sometimes there are complicated issues, and one such issue, which is very much relevant to Sabah, is the South China Sea. And it is important, the South China Sea is important to the region and far beyond. It seems its sea lanes are critical for international trade, but there are some areas of the South China Sea that face overlapping claims, and Malaysia is one of the claimant states, but areas that within our exclusive economic zone, EEZ, 200 nautical miles, is not an area of dispute. And that is Malaysia's position. Now, any development that has the potential to undermine peace and security and stability and will raise concern and would naturally attract wide attention, and therefore should be addressed peacefully and in a proactive, positive and constructive manner. Since the South China Sea issue is one which occupies the world's attention, I would like to take this opportunity to explain some detail this issue as I have dealt with it during my tenure as Foreign Minister. Now, during my time as Foreign Minister, we have always stated that the issue in South China Sea is complex, very complex, and multifaceted and highly sensitive, and therefore overlapping claims in the South China Sea should be addressed through peaceful means in accordance with the relevant principles of international law, notably the principles as stipulated United Nations Convention Laws of the Sea, or UNCLOS 1982. The Philippines, Vietnam, and the People's Republic of China have claimant states are also having what we call the disputes through 9-dash line, and it is we Malaysia we don't accept the 9-dash line, and this is why it's considered disputed area. But Malaysia does not recognize, as I said, does not recognize claims, and as outlined in 9-dash line, it is inconsistent with international law, including what I said earlier, UNCLOS, United Nations Convention Laws of the Sea, 1982. Now, my time as a foreign minister, we have always reaffirmed the importance of maintaining peace, stability, and security, and freedom of navigation in and overflying over South China Sea. Now, the disputed area, South China Sea, when we're crossing over, flying from Kota Kinabalu to Kuala Lumpur, we're flying actually over the airspace as what they claim. So we have to be very, very mindful. And we also emphasize the need for all parties to ensure full and effective implementation of the Declaration, the Conduct of Parties in the South China Sea, or DOC as it's known, and its entirety to build, maintain, and enhance mutual interest and confidence, exercising self-interest in the conduct of activities not to resort or to threat or use of force for all the parties concerned to resolve their differences and dispute through peaceful means in accordance with the international law. We urge the consultations on the Code of Conduct in South China Sea, or COC, be intensified to ensure expeditious establishment of an effective COC. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as I said earlier, ASEAN is an important department in the ministry and one which contributes to heavy workload within South China Sea issue. When South China issue came up, and ASEAN as a whole is affected because ASEAN is one of the core aspects of our foreign policy, and it's also important to China. Therefore, Malaysia and China need to ensure proper balance and equilibrium between their individual interests, bilateral interests, and the larger national interest of maintaining peace and stability in the South China Sea. So, are you all right? You can still listen. Okay, because I'm afraid otherwise I'll be very happy just to cut short of it. So, what was my role is one might ask. Of course, we are dealing with one huge issue with many key players and a lot at stake. Nations are involved, including powerhouses. Any diplomatic faux pas will result in huge repercussions to the country. Loss of trade, withdrawal of foreign investments, etc., etc. We do not want that to happen to Malaysia. And Datuk Seri Najib, the Prime Minister then, had entrusted me to facilitate negotiation with China and other ASEAN countries to ensure that peace and stability can be maintained in the region. However, that does not mean compromising on our stance regarding the South China Sea issue. I had to ensure maritime-related issues will be handled in a comprehensive manner to safeguard our security and sovereignty. And there's no compromise on our sovereignty. And as an ASEAN member country, I had to observe the ASEAN tradition of consultations and the consensus to comply with ASEAN unity and maintains its centrality. Now, what are the personal challenges as a foreign minister during my time? Now, ladies and gentlemen, the advent of globalization has not only made the world smaller place, it has also made the job of scope of foreign minister much bigger. I remember that I was required to be in 2 or 3 different countries in the same day, and events were equally important to Malaysia. Now, usually when I mention my travels, people get envious. People think I have a jet-set lifestyle, meeting people everywhere, flying here and there. One day, people calling me, "Where are you?" I said, "I'm in Honolulu." The next day, they called me, "Where?" I said, "I was in Canada." And they said, "Oh, what a lovely thing, you know, you're so lucky." But they did not realize that I have to travel hours and hours on the plane and then be fresh to deliver a keynote address and discussions. But I think that Susanna knows the story. And I was having a meeting, 3 countries in Europe at the same one day. So when I arrived at the hotel, we had straight away went for the meeting and only came back after dinner, that is about 10:30 in the evening. And I went to knock my door, and I got my card, trying to open the door, but never opened. Suddenly, one huge European man opened the door. And I was asking him, I said, "What are you doing in my room?" I said, "I got my wife in there. What are you doing here?" He said, "This is my room." I said, No, this is my room." I later realized that I was in a different country, because between France, Netherlands, and Switzerland, you can travel within one day just to go for a meeting. And that is one of the occupational hazards of being a foreign minister. And there's a lot more stories I can tell you, but I don't want to waste your time. Now, and something about United Nations. But one of the highlights of this job is the annual United Nations General Assembly in New York. I first attended the United Nations in my capacity as Deputy Minister of Plantation Industries and Commodities when I was asked to speak on our forest, deforestations and degrading forests. But it is a different experience altogether when attending the high-level segment of United Nations General Assembly, where world leaders address the international community. Everyone who is everyone is in the presence in the United Nations General Assembly. Now, there were presidents, prime ministers, kings, emirs, all await their turn at the podium, and foreign ministers and celebrities. Dr. Susanna, were you there? One of the United Nations General Assembly? Okay. Now, political leaders are all congregated under the same dome, like a massive swarm of bees in a beehive, and it is rather intimidating. Now, I remember for the first time that I spoke in the United Nations, and coincidentally, that was the first year that Barack Obama addressed the United Nations as the President of the United States of America. And also it was the first the first year that the late Colonel Muammar Gaddafi made his first speech in the United Nations and promptly rose up the UN Charter tore up the UN Charter during his 100-minute speech. Normally, you're only given 25 minutes, but he did a 100-minute speech. And despite the insistence of people giving him signals to stop talking, and he went on and on and on. Now, and the other one, of course, President Hugo Chavez of Venezuela spoke at length and hoped a new world order. And these people are really good orators. And no one moved in a chair when they were talking because they're very, very controversial, but at the same time, for those countries that have the same interests, very happy what these people are talking about. And the other thing is UN Security Council. Now, UN Security Council is of course, a very important organ of the United Nations. And fortunately, we have the opportunity to chair the United Nations General Assembly. And I have to visit 60 over countries. Luckily, I was provided with a private jet. Now, that's what you can say. It was very nice. Travel with a first-class private jet all over the country, 60 over countries. But of course, most of the time we ate in the planes because of time difference and also the business. And I was given a task that we ought and should be elected as United Nations Security Council chair. And I think we get the votes out of 193 votes, we get 187. There are about 6 that did not vote for us. And we came second. Uganda was the first one. But who did not vote for us. But the important thing is that, we received a very big mandate as compared to other nations. And of course, as I said, the winning seat meant that our job was far from over. And it was just beginning, and the Security Council meant that we had to prove that we had rightly earned the seat and be worthy of being a chair of UN Security Council. Palestinian cause, Malaysia has also committed ourselves. I think all of you know about Palestinian cause and Malaysia's position in there. And we chaired 3 informal meetings at Security Council on the subject of Palestine and touching the situation in Gaza, protection for the people of Palestine, and spearheading the condemnations of the illegal Israeli settlements. We ended our tenure in the Security Council on a high note, obviously satisfied what we had done that made a difference to some lives. Now, all this during my time, I do not know why, MH370, MH317, and I don't think you want to listen to that because it's not very pleasant. But, we had about most of the key senior cabinet ministers. We stayed in a room in Malaysian Airlines office for a week and trying to do things that needed to be done. And when I asked all the foreign ministers along the route, and I'm talking about MH370 first, and everybody was saying, no, we did not see the plane, no, we do not see the plane. But it is almost impossible for 777 to have lost in the sky when there are hundreds of satellites. But there are politics beyond our means that I do not wish to dwell with here because it's quite a sensitive issue. Now, the same thing with MH17. What are the chances? What are the chances 2 airlines, one airline experiencing within the space of 6 months? I think 6 months, 6 months, and the same plane was shot down. And when we tried to contact all the leaders, again, we had this in the war room. We contacted President Obama, contacted everybody. And my job was to arrange for the Prime Minister to talk to all the leaders that's needed, and I have to talk to the foreign ministers. So when I called the foreign minister of Russia, Sergei Lavrov, he said, Anifah, give me one reason why we should shoot down a Malaysian Airlines. I said, we are friends, we are not neighbors, we don't have problems towards each other. And why should we shoot down your plane? Now think, he said, brother, you think about it. You see, because I'm mostly on a phone call basis with most of these foreign ministers. So I mean, it dawns to me that he's right. What has Russia got to do with Malaysia? But well, you can draw up to the conclusion ahead. There's JIT, Joint Investigative Team, where 5 foreign ministers, myself, Australia, and Ukraine, Belgium, and Holland. So we sat down and deliberated on all the possibilities, and I mostly disagree with what they're saying. But of course, with being a lone voice, I can't do much. But I don't think the ending is what we think it is. Again, it is very sensitive, and I do not wish to dwell that further. And of course, the other thing, outside of UN, we have seen us fight the human rights and dignity of the Rohingya Muslim. I think some of you are following that. And during my tenure as foreign minister, witnessed a terrorist attack increasing in numbers and random intensity. And we are lucky. We should be grateful. We should be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because we are, that's a diverse, multicultural, multi-religious, but we are, God bless us, we are safe and happy. But you see, when coming up to the countries, for example, Syria, Baghdad, and what you see, it is a great pity. And to rebuild the cities also. Now, until now, Libya is not that peaceful. Iraq is not that peaceful. So we are lucky. This is why diversity, and we manage that properly. Then we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we will not experience that kind of things. Now, No, I don't think you want to. No, I only want to touch on one thing, that in foreign affairs, we have to be very, very mindful of the words we use. And so being a foreign minister, sometimes, English words sometimes has many meanings. And you have to make sure what comes out from your mouth, is the right word. And simply because if you say the wrong thing in the wrong words, in the right place, you still get into trouble. And therefore, because what is being uttered by foreign minister besides the prime minister is the policy of the country. So words, usage are very important. This is why I'm sure you have heard about Pyongyang, the guy who got things, and again, it was difficult for our nine diplomats who were being, hassled and treated very badly by the North Korean regime, and to the point that they feel the security was at risk. And I have to convince the Prime Minister to send our plane to pick them up, but negotiation went on for weeks, I think 2.5 weeks, and how to get our people there and how to send the body of the guy who was gassed, and then they want to, every second, the timing must be, because they do not want the body to go to, United States allies, So, and we have our diplomats there, and we have America giving us pressure. No, you must not send there. And that's a decision that the foreign minister have to make. And good or bad, I have to take the full responsibility to that. But oh well, I think I better cut short now the speech, because foreign policy, we hardly change our policies from years to years. And so some of them are very, and I don't want to talk about Philippines because I'll be going to London with the team on the Philippine claims. Actually, it's more of a kiram. But you see, the reason why it was brought up to the arbitration, because arbitration has to be two parties. This is why all during my time, I said we never recognize any claims on Sabah. So full stop. So they can't call us to go to arbitrations. But when we made a mistake and say that, yes, we are during the visit of the the ambassador of Philippines to Sabah, somebody was saying, or now the leaders were saying, that, oh, you know, we're very close, we are like brothers, we are neighbors, and we can settle all the disputes that we have. And that triggers the Philippines government. The foreign minister, Teodoro Locsin, was saying, oh, Malaysia, the Sabah, recognize that this is a disputed area. So again, we have to be very mindful. And like, same thing like joint development. Joint development is a very harmless word, but when it comes to China, we're saying, why don't we do joint developments on all our resources? Now that means if we do accept that, it means that we recognize their claims that they're entitled to 50% of all our natural resources that's available in the hydrocarbon fields here. And so the country says, well, we are friends. No, you made a lot of money in Thailand, you made a lot of money in Vietnam as a result of joint development. But the difference is, because not all ministers know this, the difference is that one is a sharing contract, private sharing contract. But this one is a joint development. So anything in the excess of EEZ 200 nautical miles, that can be termed as disputed area. But within our exclusive economic zone, no, it's not a disputed area. It is Malaysia. It is a sovereign rights of us. You know? So, yeah, that's sometimes quite interesting, but you have to be, as I said, you have to be mindful of your words. You have to report to the Prime Minister. And if you say the wrong thing, you might get kicked out. But fortunately, it lasted for 9.5 years. Now, ladies and gentlemen, ever since the end of tenure of Prime Minister, there's been federal governments and 2 state governments, or 3 federal governments, 2 state governments. And I'm not saying this turnover is good or bad. What I'm saying is that our nation strives towards the maturity of democracy. Changes in the government are normal, but to be expected. However, changes which occur too often can lead to the uncertainty and would not be good to the country. I would like to commend both YBhg Ibrahim and his unity government, ensuring unity between political parties and stability, as well as YBhg, who with his government riot as JRS platform has united all Sabahan local parties to govern, ensuring a vital stability, which has led to the increase of state revenue since he took over as the Chief Minister. He also came up with a vision, Sabah Maju Jaya. Many things are said about this vision, but for me, there has been Sabah's motto from the beginning. It is supposed to be something we aspire towards. Now, what is wrong with the Chief Minister wanting to gear us all towards Sabah Maju Jaya? I don't think there's any disadvantage or done, but it is his aspirations that we should move towards achieving Sabah Maju Jaya. Now, personally, I'm thankful to YBCM and has appointed me as a special advisor on foreign affairs and international trade. Now, I hope to share my experiences as Foreign Minister for the betterment of Sabah and Sabah Maju Jaya, and that can be achieved. And I'm very proud as a Sabahan, and I was very, very concerned when I was first appointed as a Foreign Minister. I was worried that I may not be able to carry the job. So I told that to Sri Najib then. I said, sir, give me 6 months. If I can't do the job, I said, I will leave, I will resign. Or you ask me to leave. Which one is faster? You know? But after 6 months, he said, no, after 3 months, he said, no, you can stay. But why I did that? Because it's besides family name, personal name, but you know, if I did not perform as a Sabahan, they will always be saying, oh, we give Sabahans top job, but they never can do it. So I'm killing the hopes and the future of other politicians in Sabah to do the same. So, and I must thank all of you for the support. And it is not my wish to make you feel cold, you know, but I was asked to deliver this speech, so thank you very much for your presence. And saya sudahi dengan wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Terima kasih Berhormat Tan Sri atas ucapan sebentar tadi. Mohon Yang Berhormat Tan Sri untuk kekal berada di atas pentas bagi sesi penyampaian cenderamata. Untuk itu dijemput Yang Berbahagia Datuk Neb Chancellor Universiti Malaysia Sabah untuk ke pentas bagi menyampaikan cenderamata.
Thank you, Yang Berhormat Tan Sri. We invite the Vice Chancellor to the stage to present a memento to Yang Berhormat Tan Sri, please.
Terima kasih kepada Yang Berhormat Tan Sri dan Yang Berbahagia Datuk Neb Chancellor atas penyampaian cenderamata sebentar tadi.
Thank you, Yang Berhormat Tan Sri and the Datuk Vice Chancellor.
Para hadirin sekalian, kita akan teruskan dengan sesi perkongsian bersama dengan Datuk Madiem Layapan, Ketua Pegawai Eksekutif Invest Sabah Berhad bertajuk Unleashing Investment Opportunities in Sabah. Untuk itu, majlis mempersilakan Datuk Madiem Layapan untuk ke pentas.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've come now to a sharing session by Datuk Madiem Layapan with the title Unleashing Investment Opportunities in Sabah. Datuk, please.
Terima kasih kepada Yang Berhormat Tan Sri atas kesudian bersama-sama kita pada persidangan kali ini.
Thank you. A very big thank you to Yang Berhormat Tan Sri for being with us this morning.
Sabah, the second largest state in Malaysia, is located at the northern tip of the island of Borneo. It has a multiracial population of 3.2 million people, with Bahasa Malaysia as the official language. Other languages such as English and Mandarin are also widely spoken. With scenic islands and beaches, world-class dive and highland resorts, golf courses and nature parks coupled with a rich cultural heritage, Sabah is a well-known premier tourist destination. Yet Sabah has much more to offer. The primary sector, which comprise agriculture, forestry, mining and fishing, dominate the state's economy. However, the industrial sector has begun to gain increasing prominence in recent years. Sabah's economy is largely driven by external trade. Sabah's main exports consist of primary processed commodities, while our imports are mainly manufactured products. Sabah is blessed with an abundance of natural resources, providing excellent opportunities for investment. Opportunities abound in the palm oil-based industries. Sabah is Malaysia's main palm oil producing state, accounting for 30% of the nation's crude palm oil production. With Malaysia as the world's leading exporter of palm oil, Sabah is evidently a major player in the global palm oil market. Investment opportunities in the palm oil industry are R&D in both upstream and downstream activities, tissue culture, training institutions, oleochemicals, refineries, food and non-food applications, biomass, and biofuel. With the recent discoveries of deep-sea oil and gas off the west coast of Sabah, the state is expected to be one of the nation's largest producers of oil and gas. The Sabah government therefore actively promotes the development of petrochemical industries. The Sabah government holds firm to the belief that the key to unlocking Sabah's industrial potential lies in the creation of an environment conducive for business and investment. In its effort to achieve this, the Sabah government has a clear and focused economic policy with priority given to the development of the agriculture, tourism and manufacturing sectors. Human resource development is also being emphasized by the Sabah state government. With a young population, Sabah provides a vibrant workforce for its industries. More than 57% of its population is in the age group of between 15 to 44 years old. The state also has a readily available, educated and trainable human resource. She produces about 20,000 school leavers with all-level education annually. She also produces about 600 graduates of various disciplines annually. Besides academic education, the government also places great emphasis on skills training institutions to be established in the state. In addition, the government accords priority to the provision of infrastructure development in Sabah. Major development works are being undertaken to construct new facilities as well as upgrading existing ones. These include roads, ports, airports, telecommunications, electricity and water. The Sabah government further accords priority to create modern industrial facilities. The Kota Kinabalu Industrial Park is an example of such modern industrial facilities in Sabah. It is being developed as a self-contained township, complete with industrial, commercial, residential and recreational facilities. The Palm Oil Industrial Clusters, or POIC, in Lahad Datu and Sandakan, a strategic initiative of the state government to further boost the oil palm industry in Sabah by creating investment opportunities in downstream activities. Supported by modern and complete infrastructure facilities and efficient supply of utilities, these clusters are established to develop the whole value chain of the palm oil industry in Sabah. Establishment of an integrated petrochemical complex and the Sabah Development Corridor are additional facilities to attract investments. The Sipitang Oil and Gas Industrial Park, or SOGIP, which is located on a 1,600-hectare site, will serve as a new focal point for oil and gas investment within the Sabah, Brunei and Labuan economic centers. The availability of oil and natural gas found off the shores of Sabah allow for development of industries that utilize oil and natural gas, especially the petrochemical industry, which involves the manufacture of industrial chemicals, resins, plastic, fertilizer, pharmaceutical products, packaging materials and others. To augment all these, Sabah also possesses a host of additional advantages besides its rich natural resource endowment. Its strategic location in the center of the Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, East ASEAN Growth Area, also known as YBhg, makes it the region's potential manufacturing and service hub. The YBhg, which is Asia's largest sub-regional grouping, spanning territories of 4 ASEAN countries, provides greater opportunities for economic specialization and a huge market for trade and investment. With the availability of more than 131 direct flights per week from Kota Kinabalu to major cities, Sabah is undoubtedly the gateway to Borneo and the YBhg region. The federal government provides special investment incentives for Sabah for promoted activities in the manufacturing, agriculture and tourism sectors. Sabah offers a first-class quality of life. Excellent essential infrastructure and supporting facilities awaits the investor. A clean and refreshing atmosphere coupled with scenic beaches and islands, golf courses, parks and highland resorts provide a weekend break for the businessman and his family. Hotels abound in the state, ranging from 6-star to budget hotels. The state has modern shopping complexes and well-stocked supermarkets. Sabah's multiracial population ensures that there is a wide variety of dining experiences. Her abundance of natural resources, inherent advantages, and an environment conducive for business also makes it an ideal trade and investment destination. Sabah extends a warm welcome to the investor.
Terima kasih kepada urus setia kerana telah berkongsi corporate video Invest Sabah sebentar tadi. Dan walaupun Tan Sri tidak ada di dalam ruangan ini, I think it is very important for me to address him. Yang berhormat Senator Tan Sri Datuk Sri Anifah Aman, the Chairman of Invest Sabah. So as we know, apart from Chairman of Invest Sabah, Tan Sri Anifah also, he is the advisor of the Chief Minister on Foreign Affairs, and also the Senator in Labuan, and also the Chairman of Labuan Corporation. So ada 4 dia punya topi. So it's not easy for him to organize his time. And thank you very much for his time to join us this morning. So yang berbahagia Profesor Datuk Dr. Kasim Mansor, Vice Chancellor Universiti Malaysia Sabah. Dia ini sahabat saya dulu, satu sekolah dulu di SMK Menggatal, Datuk 1978. At the time he was the upper 6 and I was in a science stream, Form 4. Mr. Lokman, I think di luar barangkali, Mr. Azrul and Puan Kamsia, the chairperson of the organizing committee of Universiti Malaysia Sabah, and saudara saya, Associate Professor Dr. Lai. So in fact, after I presented my PhD Viva at UMS, and after that, Associate Professor Dr. Lai invited me to his office to discuss about this conference. And he offered Invest Sabah to co-organizer of this conference, empowering diversity in leadership. So I told him that it is very interesting for Invest Sabah to collaborate with UMS who are able to organize this kind of conference. So thank you very much, and also the approval from the chairman of Invest Sabah to allow Invest Sabah to collaborate with UMS on this conference. So these are the contents of my presentation this morning. So I'm very sorry because this is nothing to do with leadership based on the title or the, the title by this conference. But Invest Sabah will take this opportunity for us to inform all the delegates and participants so that at least you know about Invest Sabah, the function of Invest Sabah, and so forth. So as we know, Sabah is one of the 13 states in Malaysia, and the second largest state in Malaysia after Sarawak. So this is the location of Invest Sabah, located at the northern part of Borneo. Okay, this is the profile of Sabah. Those participants that are not really familiar with Sabah, these are the profile of Sabah. Land area is only 73,000 kilometers square, and we have 3.9 population, and we have 25 districts in Sabah. So the purpose for me to inform this conference about the numbers of district in Sabah is that all the potential investors, they are not confined to invest in industrial park in Sabah. We have 3 industrial parks in Sabah, but also they can invest in any district in Sabah. So this is the map. So the location of the district in Sabah. So a bit about the Sabah economy, the background of Sabah economy. I think Datuk Suzana Liao dia tahu betul ini. When she was in this, what is it, a permanent secretary in the Ministry of Sabah, I think she knows about this. So based on this record, in 2019, the GDP of Sabah is only 85 billion. Compared to Sarawak, our GDP is a bit lower than the Sarawak GDP. In 2020, our GDP is decreasing to 77.8 billion. And 2021, our GDP increased a bit to 78.7 billion. And last year, 2022, our GDP increased to 122 billion. So this is during the current government, the GRS government. And our per capita, GDP per capita is 36,000. Something wrong with pointer. Mana Jesse? Okay, can. Okay, this is the overall investment in Sabah. And we obtained this data from Madiem, Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur. And basically in 2019, our investment value in Sabah is 12.4 billion. And then in 2020, increased to 21.01 billion ringgit. And 2021, 6.5 billion. Dia menurun. I will explain later. And last year, it was 11.5 billion. It was announced by the Minister of MITI, Tengku Zafrul. And for this year, from January to March, already announced by MITI Malaysia, the investment approved in Sabah, approved by MIDA, is 6.3 billion. And the KPI or Invest Sabah is only 6 billion a year. So meaning to say that we already achieved the KPI for Invest Sabah for investment every year. So this is only the manufacturing. From the overall investment in Sabah, this is the manufacturing sector. In 2017, on manufacturing, we have 10 billion ringgit. And 2018, only 0.227 billion, or probably 227 million ringgit. That is only for manufacturing. And 2019, 6.46 billion. 2020, 8.4 billion. And 2021, 4.86 billion. And 2020 is 8.38 billion. So for your information about this 2021, 4.86 billion, this is including the SKN investment in KKIP. So now the factory in KKIP is under construction by SKN. They invested 4.3 billion ringgit. They produce copper foil from Korea. And the second investors in KKIP, also in 2021, approved by MIDA, is from Kibing. So Kibing invested 2 billion ringgit. So this is the glass manufacturing. They produce glass like this. And then also KBing also invested in Kudat, Squati, about 500 million ringgit. They do the mining of the silica sand in Kudat, and after that they will transport the silica sand to Sepangar port, and thereafter to the KBing factory in KKIP. So this is the GDP structure by sector in 2021. So the construction sector is only contributed 3% to the GDP of Sabah. Services, the highest contributors is the services, 47.3%, agriculture 15.9%, and mining about 26.3%, and manufacturing is only 7.5%. So the objective of Invest Sabah, based on discussion with the Ministry of Industrial Development, we want to increase the percentage of manufacturing from 7.5% at least to 30% by 2030. So this is a very important task for Invest Sabah to entice our investors either from Malaysia or from FDI to invest in manufacturing in Sabah. Ini semua tahulah ni. Okay, I will talk a bit about the history of Invest Sabah. Invest Sabah is actually just established for the past 3 years. Since Malaysia independence in 1963, there's no Invest Sabah. All the investment activities are under the responsibility of the Ministry of Industrial Development. And some investors, they submitted the investment proposal to the Chief Minister Office, to UPEN, to the Ministry of Industrial Development, to the State Secretary, and other ministry. But the problem is there's no single government entity to facilitate the investors. Therefore, the investors said it is difficult to invest in Sabah. It is unlike in Peninsula Malaysia. For the last 25 years, Invest Selangor already established. Invest Penang, Invest Kedah, and other invest in Peninsula Malaysia. So that's why when I was a permanent secretary in the Ministry of Industrial Development in 2018, I studied the problem of investment in the state. Thereafter, I discussed to my minister, and we went to Invest Selangor, Invest Penang, Invest Kedah, just to study the role of invest in Peninsula Malaysia. And upon returning to Sabah, we delivered the cabinet paper, and the cabinet approved the establishment of Invest Sabah. So now Invest Sabah was implemented in October 2020. So we are the younger brother from the Invest in Peninsula Malaysia. So these are the board of directors of Invest Sabah. So from 2020 to January 22, the Invest Sabah chairman is the Right Honourable Chief Minister of Sabah, Datuk Seri Haji Noor. But starting from 31st January this year, he resigned and thereafter appointed Tan Sri Anifah Aman as a new chairman of Invest Sabah. And this is very important role for the chairman, how to enhance the investment in Sabah. And he is very capable. Sikit-sikit dia panggil saya almost every day. We discuss about the investment in Sabah. So that's why he told me just now, hari-hari kita jumpa, so tidak perlulah saya dengar ini. Dan lagi pun kalau dia ada, nanti saya gentar lagi bercakap. Dr. Lai. Now, our deputy chairman is George Wong. Tiada gambar di sini. The board of directors, including the state secretary, Yang Berhormat Datuk Seri Panglima Safar Untung, and then the state attorney general, the permanent secretary, Ministry of Finance, Datuk Muhammad Sofian, and then the permanent secretary of Ministry of Industrial Development, Datuk Thomas Legijin, the director of the Land and Survey Department, Datuk Bernard Leo, and the director of UPEN, Datuk Jasmine Teo, and CEO MIDA Malaysia, Datuk Arham, and Datuk John Law, and Datuk NK Fu. They are the members of the Sabah Economic Advisory Council and myself. So, Invest Sabah is actually IPA, Investment Promotion Agency. So in Sabah, we have 3 IPA in Sabah. One is MIDA. MIDA is the national IPA, promoting investment throughout Malaysia. And we have MIDA office in Sabah. We have a director MIDA in Sabah, which is Joseph, Saudara Joseph. And MIDA not only promoting investment in Sabah, but also they will give investment tax incentive. And apart from MIDA, we have Sedia in Sabah. So Sedia is the regional IPA. They are also promoting investment, but based on corridor. Only certain district and certain product or certain investments. And the third one is IPA in Sabah is Invest Sabah. So we are investment promotion agency for Sabah, and our responsibility is to promote investment opportunity in Sabah, both DDI, domestic direct investments, and also FDI, foreign direct investments, and also to facilitate investors with federal and state agencies, and also to provide information to our prospective investors. So these are the areas that the state government entrusted to Invest Sabah to promote. This is based on the Sabah Maju Jaya initiative. So we are promoting, firstly, in manufacturing. So we have to promote manufacturing. We have 3 industrial parks in Sabah. We have Kota Kinabalu Industrial Park. We have Sogip in Sepitang, and we have POIC Lahad Datu in Lahad Datu. And also we are promoting tourism. So sometimes our friends, they are really confused. Why Invest Sabah still promoting tourism? Padahal kita ada Kementerian Pelancongan, kita ada STB, Sabah Tourism Board. Kenapa Invest Sabah masih lagi promote investment in tourism? The difference is this. The Ministry of Tourism and STB, they are promoting the existing tourism destination, like Mount Kinabalu, like what is the beautiful islands in Sabah, all the rivers, all the what is it, the flora and fauna and so forth. So these are the existing tourism destination. So the Ministry of Tourism and STB, they are promoting this tourism destination to South Korea, to China, to Japan, and other countries. Why Invest Sabah role to promote tourism is this. We want to entice or looking for investors who are able to invest in hospital tourism, in cable car, in water theme park, or whatsoever. So we want to create new tourism destination. So once the new tourism destination established by Invest Sabah, then we want to surrender this to the Ministry of Tourism and to STB, so that they can promote to entice new tourists from overseas or from local. So we are also promoting agriculture. So for example, if any investors, they are interested in durian plantation. So Invest Sabah will facilitate the land required by the investors with the Land and Survey Department. For example, 5,000 acres for durian plantation. But we need the investors not only to plant the durian, but also for further downstream to establish factory, so that once durian factory established by the investors, they can process the durian and they can employ more. They can establish more employment for the local, and they are also purchase the durian from the local farmers. So it is indirectly to establish a market for the durian planters throughout the states. So currently, we have one company, Linako from Johor. They already joint venture with the state government to do the plantation of coconut in Paitan, 5,000 acres. And they are also required to establish the factory of coconut in Kota Merdu. So the first one is the human capital. So one of the major problems faced by the investors is to look for skilled workers. As specialists, they need thousands of skilled workers. Keeping, they need thousands of workers. Still Enterprise in Spitang, they invested 19.5 billion ringgit. They are looking for 10,500 skilled workers. The investors ask us where to get skilled workers. We promise them to provide workers for them. Of course, we have Universiti Malaysia. Every year you produce undergraduate students, UITM, and other universities, other colleges in the state. But they are not skilled workers. These investors, they need skilled workers. Early this year, about 60 engineers from local. It was engaged by the SKNXLS, and SKNXLS sent these 60 engineers to Korea. Mereka praktis di Korea, dan apabila mereka balik, mereka akan bekerja dengan Korea. So that's why we are looking for investors in this sector, human capital, to set up training center or the vocational, so that all the school leavers from university or from sekolah menengah or whatsoever, we will provide them with a skill, so that we can supply to our investors. In Semenanjung, Malaysia, they have in Pahang. I visited the training center in Pahang. So the training center Pahang, they provide to all the investors in the state in Peninsular Malaysia. And we are also promoting the infrastructure and utilities. So under utilities, it's divided by two. The first one is the power generations, and the second one is the power supply, the water supply. Now our focus now is to provide power supply in Sabah. I remember early last year, I attended one meeting. We facilitated one of the investors from China. And during the meeting, they need about 1,500 megawatts of power, because they want to invest 35 billion ringgit in Spitang. And I asked the CEO of ACSB to answer the question, because it is very difficult for me to answer. They need 1,500 megawatts of power. And you know what happened? The CEO of ACSB answered, currently Sabah only have 1,200 megawatts of power throughout Sabah. And this power is for the housing, for the government department, and all the universities. We have only 1,200 megawatts in Sabah. We don't have reserve. Even if I black out seluruh Sabah pun, cannot supply your demand, because you need 1,500 megawatts of power. And our investors, SKNXLS, Kebing, Petroventure, and also the steel. They need huge power, but we couldn't supply. So that's why on the 19th of this September, the state government through ECOS, Energy Commission of Sabah, they want to launch the Sabah Power Plan, Master Plan. They have to launch the Sabah Power Master Plan. And this is the major issues for us. And there's no other alternative, but we have to look for investors to invest in renewable energy. So the renewable energy, including hydroelectric, the solar power, ocean thermal, geothermal, wind power, and others. So currently we have only one electric hydro in Tenom, but only 78 megawatt power. We have solar power in Kudat, only 50 megawatts. And now the Telekosang under construction, that is the investors from China in collaboration with Sabah Energy Corporation, but only 50 megawatt power. And coming is the Upper Padas, 170 megawatt power, but the construction has not belum lagi bermula. So that's why kita memerlukan power electric. As for now in Sabah, 87% of power generation in Sabah from the gas. If anything happened to gas in Sabah, we have power problem in Sabah. So that's why we want to look for investors who are able to invest in power generations. In Peninsula Malaysia, about 95% power generation from coal plant. But now coal plant cannot be implemented anymore because in Japan, they already executed the G7 summit that starting from 2025, they want to phase out all the coal power plant. But we hope the IGCC plan, integrated the gasification combined cycle, which is generating from the coal, but a different technology. So we are still studying that so that we can entice the investors to come over to Sabah for this purpose. Why Sabah? Kenapa kita, actually from January up to April this year, we received 56 applications from investors. And when we receive this application for investment in the States, firstly we have to do the due diligence. We want to know the financial due diligence. We have to do the business due diligence. Because they come to us, they submit the investment proposal, they come to us, they said they are investors. When we do the due diligence, they are not actually the genuine investors. They are promoter, they are agent, they are so-called partner. But we are really appreciating them because with the role of promoters and the agent, they can entice the real investors to come to Sabah. While we are appreciating the role of the promoters and also the agent and so forth, but once the state government sign MOU or MOA, we have to sign to the real investor. So these are the reason why investors, they like Sabah as preferred destination investment in the state. So first one is the strategic location. I give example about this. When I was in the ministry before 2019, one investor, SK Nexalis. During the time it was COVID-19. And somebody, Maida KL told me that one of the investors from Korea is interested to invest in Malaysia. This is after Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad visited Korea. and meeting with the investors in Korea, and suddenly one investor, the potential investor, the so-called at the time, because I don't know at the time, Excellence, they want to invest in Malaysia. But they choose only between these two states, Sarawak and Sabah. I managed to get the phone number of Mr. Sin, the CEO of Excellence. When I called him, he was in Sarawak, in Kuching. And he told me that he already met with the Premier of Sarawak. And the Sarawak offered huge power supply, very cheap power, water very cheap. And after that, land also very cheap. The only problem is di Samalaju, dia punya kedalaman tidak berapa dalam. And after that, Excellence, based on the strategic location, they choose Sabah because Sabah is very near to Korea. And also, the Sabah is surrounded by the other countries. We are surrounded by Indonesia, the Philippines, Japan, Korea, China, Thailand, Vietnam, and Singapore. So the Sabah location is very strategic. So as a method of Invest Sabah, or our partners, how to entice the investors through this strategic location. We have a stable and a progressive government. I attended the one seminar organized by World Bank. That was in 2021. And one of the issues raised by one of the participants is the stability of politics in Malaysia, which is I refuse to answer. I only tell them that in Sabah we have progressive government. We are stable government. All the cabinet ministers are very capable, and our chief minister is very focused on investment. So don't worry about the change of government, because our government is very stable, and there's no change of policy, because that is the one of the issue that are raised by investors. Mereka takut polisi itu akan bertukar lalu ada perubahan. So I told them, don't worry about the change of policy. Never. The third one is the abundance of resources and raw materials. So kita di Sabah memanglah kita ada tanah, so banyak. So walaupun power, as I said just now, kurang, tapi we manage to supply power to our investors. We manage to supply water to our investors. We manage to supply gas to our investors. Because Petronas, they can supply gas to Sabah through Sabah Energy Corporation. And of course, the competitiveness, I'm not going to explain about this. The attractive investment incentive, the MIDA, Malaysia, they offer investment incentive to all our investors. Some given 10 years, no need to pay tax to the government. They are exempted from the tax for 10 years. Not only MIDA, but also Sedia also doing the same. They can offer tax incentive to our investors, Sedia. So the CEO of Sedia is our former State Secretary, Datuk Seri Hasim Paijan. We have fast approval. Normally, this one is fast approval, the building plan, for every investment, if they want to build a factory, they need DP, development plan. So in Sabah, we've really facilitated them. We have very close collaboration with local council who are responsible to approve the development plan. And some investors we already approved less than seven months. Normally take years. We have world-class tourism. I'm not going to elaborate on this. So actually all this, the tourism attraction can entice the investors. So the Excellence, for example, the Korea, they like golf. They like golf. So we have a Sutra Golf Club. Karambunai Golf Course, Rasaria Golf Course, and also in Kundasang. So they like golf. So this one of the issue that they incorporate in their decision. And we have institutions and universities. This is also can entice investors because we have Universiti Malaysia Sabah, we have UiTM, we have Tun Razak University, colleges, and all things. So this can make up the mind of our investors to believe that these universities and colleges can supply workers to them. So this one I already mentioned just now. So in Sabah, we have only 3 industrial parks. Kota Kinabalu Industrial Park, POIC Industrial Park, and also SICC Industrial Park. And another 2 more industrial parks coming. So this is the Kota Kinabalu Industrial Park, which is about 20 minutes from Kota Kinabalu to KKIP. So currently, they have 11.9 billion in investment in KKIP. This is not including the scan excellence and Kibing. So this is a POIC Berhad Datuk. So POIC Berhad Datuk, they have 4,400 acres. So I'm not going to explain. We have SOGIP, Spitang Oil and Gas Industrial Park in Spitang. SOGIP belong to SOGDC. Now we have the existing investor in Spitang is Petronas, Samurwan. They invested the $1 billion USD. They are producing ammonia, all exported to overseas, especially Australia. And many more investors coming in Spitang. This is very important. So as a conclusion, I hope at the end of this presentation, I hope all the participants would be able to know about Invest Sabah. Because some people, they never know the existence of Invest Sabah in Sabah, even government servant. Now we hope that all the participants are able to know that there is an Invest Sabah in Sabah to promote investments. Second, I hope all the participants from Sabah, from Peninsula Malaysia or from Sarawak today would be able to know what are the functions of Invest Sabah. Thirdly, we really hope that at the end of this briefing, the participants not only know about Invest Sabah or the role of Invest Sabah, but you would be able to help Invest Sabah to promote investments in Sabah, both in Malaysia or foreign investors. So this is some of the beautiful islands that entice the investors. They like this, not only tourists, but even investors also they like this. Golf course. So our office is actually in the 5th floor of this building. Is it 5th floor? 4th floor. So Invest Sabah office is at this building, SICC, in the level 5. So if any potential investors, they can submit the investment proposal to us in our office. Okay, thank you very much.
Terima kasih Datuk Madiem Layapan atas perkongsian sebentar tadi.
Thank you, Datuk Madiem Layapan, for that interesting sharing session.
Peringatan mesra kepada para peserta untuk mengisi borang penilaian selepas setiap sesi dengan mengimbas kod QR yang terdapat di tag masing-masing. Slide juga akan diemailkan kepada para peserta selepas selesai persidangan ini.
A gentle reminder to all participants to fill up the evaluation form after each session by scanning the QR code found behind your tag. And the organizers will also email to all participants all slides presented after this conference is over.
Kita akan berhenti rehat sebentar untuk jamuan tengah hari. Dipersilakan para penceramah ucap tama dan peserta persidangan untuk menjamu selera. Dan mohon kembali ke Dewan ini tepat pada jam 2 petang untuk sesi seterusnya.
We'll take a break now and invite all keynote speakers and participants for lunch. A gentle reminder to all to be back in this hall by 2 p.m. as we would like to start on time. Thank you for your cooperation.